Hey toy fans, Aaron here. Today taking a look at the Power of the Force Chewbacca release from 1995. As you can see, he was initially released on that red card. Nice large image of Darth Vader in the upper left side. As we look down on the card, you're going to see a great photo of Chewbacca off to the left side of the card. And on the right side, you're going to see the action figure through that blister. On the back side, top half gives you a little index cutout filled with some bio information about Chewbacca. You've got a very lengthy write-up in there. Bottom half of the card is showing you other figures that were also released at the same time, along with the various vehicles that you could also find on the shelves. Taking a look at the figure out of the packaging, and oh, this is not Chewbacca. That first year or so in the Power of the Force line brought us these steroid muscle-filled figures, and none of that certainly belonged on Chewbacca. That aside, looking at it now 25 years later, or almost 25 years later, I've got to say there is a little bit of a charm to this figure. I guess that's a pretty easy thing to say though, now that we've received plenty of other great looking Chewbacca action figures, that you can look back on this one and certainly see that it was a product of its time, and it makes it pretty unique looking in that if you have the slightest knowledge of Star Wars figures, you can pretty much identify exactly when this guy was released. Looking at the head sculpt, I'm not going to keep going on about how this doesn't look at all like Chewbacca, but on the merits of what they were trying to achieve, I think they did hit the mark with this one. The fur sculpting looks great. Painting in the eyes, the nose, the mouth, that all looks fantastic. The coloring of the fur, and this goes for the head, for the entire body, is pretty much off here. I mean, overall, the coloring almost leans on the purple side, instead of it being some light tans and dark browns. And there's just this, I don't know, like this dull finish or something on it, so nothing really pops as far as the coloring. Getting back to that head though, you're going to see this seam just underneath the fur that runs around the chest. You're not going to get any articulation in there, and in fact the head is even glued on. You can see some of that glue showing through on his left side of his shoulder. As for the chest and arms of the figure, I mean, obviously lots of muscles in here. Since that's the route they were going for, they certainly did a good job with that. I mean, you've got some good muscle tone underneath the fur. And once again, much like the head and really the rest of the body, I do like the sculpting that they did for the fur. Draping over his left shoulder and running down to the right side of his hip is his bandolier with pouch. That is sculpted into the chest piece, the waist, and the side of the leg, so that's nothing that you're going to be able to remove. And sculpting for that is looking very nice, actually. Nice painting through here. The coloring of that bandolier strap is holding in right where it needs to be. You also have the same running around to the backside, so they've completed the look quite well here. And as far as the pouch sculpted in onto the right side of his legs, I think things are looking pretty well here also. You got some nice layering being done for the pouch to give it some depth. And then getting down to the legs, much like the top, I mean, it's just a Chewbacca figure, so he's pretty much all fur. But still, even though not supposed to be there, that muscle sculpting is still looking pretty good. And then down for the feet, you can see that they managed to still sculpt some nice little tufts of fur going in between the toenails. As far as articulation, I already mentioned that head is glued on, so you're not getting any movement there. Both of the arms do rotate a full 360 at the shoulder. Waist swivels all the way around. And both his legs do come straight out, and they only go back just a little bit. As for accessories, he does come with two of them. Don't ask me why. First up, you get his signature bowcaster. It is a bit of an oversized weapon with a lot of oversized features to it, especially those scopes at the top of the bowcaster. Not a ton of detailing being done here, but you get a little round bits off on each side of the weapon, and it is just molded in the gray plastic that you're seeing here. Does fit well in his right hand. And then for that second accessory, he comes with a heavy blaster rifle. I guess they just thought it would be fun to include this. This is something that Hasbro did with a lot of other figures in the line, giving them a much larger second weapon. Now this one, we do have a lot of detailing going on in here. Since this wasn't seen on screen, I can't speak to any accuracy of it, but it is quite an imaginative looking piece. It is also sculpted just in that gray plastic, so no special painting or other applications being done here. Chewbacca can hold this weapon very well in his left hand, and also with the strap that's included on the weapon, certainly no problem tossing it over his shoulder and having it hang off on the back. Kind of has a nice look to it. So overall, I mean, yes, this is probably the worst Chewbacca figure they've ever released. To me, at least, there is a little bit of a charm with this figure. You know, it was the first one that was released when the line hit the store shelves once again in '95. So I will always certainly like it for what it is. And I'm certainly glad since then, though, we've received much better looking Chewbacca figures. But like I said, for me, this is still a fun one to look back on from time to time. So that wraps this review up. Definitely let me know what you think of this figure in the comment section below. And as always, thank you for watching.